What if 100 repetitions could completely rewrite your reality? Jacobo Grinberg discovered that the mind doesn't just perceive, it constructs the world around it. He believed that consciousness shapes the structure of reality in ways that few truly understand. Neville Goddard, on the other hand, revealed the mechanism behind this. Transformation isn't about effort, but about unwavering certainty and intentional repetition. What happens when we combine these two perspectives into a simple yet largely overlooked technique? No rituals, no materials, just your voice and conviction. Does it sound too basic to work? Then maybe that's exactly what they don't want you to know. The results? Hard to explain until you experience them. And when that happens, everything you thought you knew about reality may never be the same again. Few dare to question the very nature of reality. Jacobo Grinberg was one of those rare investigators, a scientist who refused to settle for prepackaged answers. He didn't just want to understand how we perceive the world, he wanted to uncover how we create it. Through his studies on consciousness, Grinberg proposed that the mind doesn't simply observe, but actively constructs the experience we call reality, shaping it based on deeply ingrained internal patterns. This suggests that what you believe to be unchangeable may in fact be nothing more than a reflection of what you've been conditioned to accept as truth. This concept finds a striking parallel in the teachings of Neville Goddard, who argued that the external world is merely a reflection of the inner mind. According to him, repeating a thought infused with emotion has the power to completely reshape one's life. If reality is built upon what we accept as true, then repeating an affirmation 100 times isn't just a mechanical act. It's a profound process of reconfiguration. Grinberg believed that the mind interacts with an invisible field of information, while Neville taught that this interaction can be consciously directed. By speaking a specific phrase with total conviction, you're not just reinforcing an idea within yourself, you're tuning your mind to a new frequency capable of attracting corresponding events. The idea that repetition can transform reality isn't superstition. It's a fundamental mechanism of the human mind. Since ancient times, mantras, prayers, and rituals have harnessed this principle to alter states of consciousness and bring about changes in the physical world. But what happens when you apply this technique deliberately, with focus and full emotional engagement? Jacobo Grinberg studied how the mind constructs reality through internalized patterns. He suggested that what we perceive as solid is actually an illusion created by our consciousness as it interacts with an invisible field of information. This field, he claimed, responds to the mind in ways that conventional science has yet to fully grasp. Neville Goddard, on the other hand, didn't rely on scientific explanations. He simply declared that whatever is repeated with conviction becomes reality. The common ground between these two perspectives is that repetition doesn't just reinforce a belief, it rewires neural connections, reshaping the internal structure that defines external experience. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever is presented to it repeatedly with emotion. When you repeat an affirmation 100 times, something begins to happen at a deep level. Specific neural networks are activated and strengthened, making that idea more and more present in your mental framework. Grinberg believed the brain could enter altered states where the boundaries between the physical and the mental dissolve. Neville taught that by affirming something with certainty, you shift your internal vibration, causing reality to adjust to reflect this new configuration. The key to this process isn't just in mechanical repetition, but in feeling each word as absolute truth. This is how the subconscious mind adopts the new pattern and begins to translate it into tangible events. Repeating an affirmation 100 times is a simple yet powerful practice. It has the potential to break mental barriers, dissolve limiting beliefs, and reprogram your perception of the world. If the human mind truly interacts with an informational field, then this exercise could be the key to accessing alternate realities. What you are about to learn is not just a technique, it's a portal to a new way of being. Repetition is the language of the subconscious. Everything you believe today was in some way repeated to you countless times until it became part of your identity. Since childhood, we've heard statements that shaped our perceptions of money, relationships, success, and even ourselves. Many of these beliefs were implanted without question, becoming invisible laws that govern our lives. What Neville Goddard and Jacobo Grinberg suggest, each in their own way, is that this process can be reversed. If a limiting pattern was established through repetition, it can also be dismantled and replaced with a new mental model using the same principle. The difference is that now you'll do it consciously and deliberately, choosing exactly the reality you want to create. The practice of repeating an affirmation 100 times is not just a mental exercise, it's a true ritual of reprogramming. Each repetition deepens the idea within your mind until it becomes an unquestionable command for the subconscious. Just as an athlete trains their muscles until movements become automatic, you will train your mind until the new belief becomes an unquestionable part of your reality. The moment doubt disappears is the moment the universe begins to rearrange itself to reflect this new mental configuration. And that is exactly what you are about to experience. Now that you understand the foundation of this process, let's move on to practical application. The technique is simple, but requires absolute commitment. For 7 consecutive nights, you will choose a quiet moment, free from distractions, and repeat a single affirmation 100 times out loud. This affirmation should align with a genuine desire, something you want to make an inevitable part of your reality. It could be something like, "My life is transforming for the better," "I am prosperous," and "everything flows in my favor," or any phrase that resonates with your deepest intention. The first step is to create the right environment. The subconscious mind responds best when we are relaxed, so finding a calm and comfortable place is essential. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and allow your body to loosen up. This state of relaxation lowers mental resistance and makes the mind more receptive to new programming. Now begin the repetition. Every word must be spoken with total emotional involvement. You're not just speaking, you're shaping your reality. Feel each phrase as if it were already an absolute truth. The mind doesn't just respond to words, it responds to the energy behind them. If you recite mechanically, the effect will be shallow, but if you repeat with conviction, feeling each word becoming part of you, the impact will be profound. At first, it might feel like you're just saying random words, but as you continue, you'll notice a subtle shift. Your mental state will begin to change, and you'll enter a flow where the affirmation feels more real than anything else. That's the key. Repeat until your body and mind fully accept the statement as an undeniable fact. Over the next few days, you may start noticing small changes, an increase in intuition, unexpected situations working in your favor, or even signs that seem to confirm that something is realigning in your life. This happens because your mind is adjusting your perception to match the new programming. Neville Goddard taught that when a desire is accepted as an internal reality, the external world has no choice but to reorganize itself to reflect that belief. After the 100 repetitions, simply stop. Don't try to force anything or question the process. Letting go is just as important as the repetition itself. Grinberg studied how excessive conscious control can interfere with the connection to the informational field. When you release the need for immediate results, you send a clear signal to the subconscious that you have already accepted this reality, and it is in this moment that changes begin to manifest naturally and inevitably. The stories of those who apply this technique are, at the very least, intriguing. Some people notice small changes within the first few days. Others start seeing signs they would have otherwise ignored, an unexpected message, an unusual invitation, a coincidence so precise it seems orchestrated by the universe. Those who use affirmations focused on prosperity, for example, often report curious experiences, money appearing in unexpected ways, a forgiven debt, a sudden raise at work without any logical explanation. But the truth is, this is not magic. Repetition creates a new mental state, and that state influences both actions and the way reality responds. Others apply the technique to develop more confidence, focus, and clarity about their goals. After 7 nights of repeating phrases like, "I am capable of achieving anything I desire," or "incredible opportunities are coming my way," many report feeling a newfound drive to take action, as if an internal blockage had dissolved. Ideas flow more easily, intuition sharpens, and obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to lose their power. This happens because when the mind accepts a new reality as truth, everything around you starts shifting to reflect that change. After all, the way you see yourself defines what you allow to happen in your life. Reality is not fixed. It shifts according to the mental patterns you cultivate every day, often without even realizing it. Jacobo Grinberg dedicated his life to studying this connection between mind and reality, while Neville Goddard offered a practical approach to accessing it consciously. What they show us is that the power has always been within us, waiting to be directed in the right way. Repetition is not just a mental exercise, it's a key to transformation. By repeating an affirmation 100 times for 7 consecutive nights, you're not just speaking words, you're programming your mind to accept a new truth. You're dissolving invisible barriers that once seemed unbreakable. The moment your mind accepts this new reality, the universe begins to rearrange everything around you to reflect that shift. Now, the choice is yours. You can continue living under the same beliefs that have brought you here, or you can test this technique and see for yourself what happens when you take control of your own mental programming. Just 7 nights. Just 100 repetitions. Simple enough to seem impossible, powerful enough to change your life. What will you choose? Now that you know this technique and understand the impact repetition can have on your reality, the only thing left is to experience it for yourself. Choose an affirmation that resonates with what you most want to transform. It could be related to your prosperity, confidence, health, or any other area of your life. What matters is that the phrase is affirmative, direct, and deeply meaningful to you. For the next 7 nights, commit to this process. Find a quiet moment, take a deep breath and repeat your affirmation 100 times out loud, feeling each word as an unquestionable truth. Just 7 nights, just 100 repetitions. It seems simple, but if you do it with full intention and discipline, you'll realize this practice goes far beyond words. Something within you will begin to shift, and when that happens, the world around you will have no choice but to follow. If you'd like to share your experience or explore more content like this, leave a comment and continue this journey of discovery. Reality is always responding.